I'm about to tell you why obedience training not only failed your anxious dog, it probably made them worse. And if you're spending money on trainers who promise to fix your dog's behavior, or you've been following online advice that hasn't worked, what I'm about to reveal will probably make you a little annoyed, but totally empower you to help your dog. You've probably been told that your dog just needs more structure, more exercise, clearer boundaries. Maybe you've tried group classes where your dog couldn't even focus. Maybe you've hired private trainers who said your dog just needs to learn who's boss. Some of you have even spent thousands on board and train programs only to have your dog come back just as anxious. But here's what nobody tells you. When your dog's nervous system is stuck in fight or flight mode, traditional training doesn't work. And it often makes anxiety worse. So first, let's understand what's really happening inside your dog's brain. It's something I like to call the training trap. When your dog is chronically stressed, their brain is constantly scanning for threats. Every sound, every movement, every change in environment, their natural nervous system is on high alert. They're not being defiant when they don't sit and stay, and they're not being stubborn when they ignore your recall. Their nervous system literally can't process your commands because survival mode has taken over. It's like trying to teach algebra to someone who's having a panic attack. The learning center of the brain is offline. That part that processes commands and makes rational decisions is just not available. So no amount of repetition or correction will work because they physically can't learn in that state. So it is not your fault. So correction-based training, like saying no in a loud voice, jerking the leash, using a prong collar or a shock collar, or putting them in timeout, all of that is telling your already anxious dog that they're in even more danger. Think about it from your dog's perspective. Your dog is already scared, they're already thinking the world is a scary place, and then we yell at them or yank the collar or spray them with water, and now they're like, oh my gosh, mom's mad, everything really is falling apart. Another thing that we have to be careful of is forced interactions. That's when your dog shows you that they want to run away from something and we make them sit and stay instead. That just makes their panic worse because we're overriding their only coping mechanism, which is to get away from the thing that is scaring them. When you're on a walk and your dog is hiding behind you, clearly uncomfortable, but you say, hey, go say hi, and force them to greet a person or another dog, you're basically telling them that their gut instinct to avoid something is wrong, and you're making them doubt the only thing they can trust, which is their own survival instincts. Or when they turn their head away from you, which is actually them trying to calm themselves down, it's their natural de-escalation signal, then we go, look at me, come here, look at me, give me kisses. Then we demand that they look at us and have eye contact. We're interrupting their natural stress relief mechanism, which is making it worse. Oh yeah, and let's talk about crates for a second. So crates have a purpose, they can be really great, but when they're already anxious and we put them in a crate as punishment, or we force them into the crate when they're panicking, now their safe space becomes their jail. So we want their crate to be this amazing place that they love, but all of a sudden the crate becomes a place that they are afraid of. All of this stuff we do with good intentions, of course. We're just teaching them that their instincts are wrong and they can't control anything, which makes them way more anxious. So another thing we have to be careful of is performance pressure. This one is huge and nobody really talks about it. So we're constantly asking our anxious dogs to sit, stay calm, perform tricks, maintain eye contact when they can barely handle just existing in their environment. And because they're so anxious, sometimes they'll do the commands and sometimes they won't. So they'll have really inconsistent training sessions and success. And that gets frustrating for you guys too, because you're like, what the heck happened? My dog was great yesterday and they're not good today. We're trying to train away anxiety when anxiety isn't a training problem, it's a nervous system problem. Okay, so what actually works? Instead of training, we need to address the underlying stress that's driving these behaviors, which means 4 critical steps. Okay, step 1, You want to identify what's actually stressing your dog. I mean, actually stressing them, not what you think should be stressing them, not what the trainer said is stressing them, what your specific dog finds overwhelming. Maybe it's sounds you don't even notice anymore, the garbage truck, the neighbor's wind chimes, the air conditioning kicking on. Maybe it's certain types of flooring that they find slippery or different kinds of lighting. Maybe it's being touched in specific ways or at specific times. You have to become a detective and really observe when your dog's stress increases. So we had a crazy thing happen with our dog, Tessa. All of a sudden, we're watching TV and she starts having signs of having a seizure. She jumped up on the couch, she was frothing, she was shaking like a leaf. I didn't know what the heck was going on. So we turned everything off, we're focused on her. And after about 10 or 15 minutes, she calms down and that doesn't happen again. About a week later, we turn on the same TV show that we were watching and it happens again. And I Googled it. It ends up that all of these people were having issues with their dog when they were watching this show. Dogs were having all kinds of symptoms because the sound designer thought that it would be cool to create tension by making these subliminal sounds happening in the background that we can't even register. We can't even hear them. And my dog was hearing them. It was like goats in pain and all these crazy animal sounds. So here, Tessa could hear all these things that we couldn't hear, and she was having seizures. So that's a very extreme example. But you have to become a detective and really pay attention to what your dog is reacting to and figure out when it is that you see their stress levels go up. So second thing is we want to remove or reduce the stress triggers from their environment. So this isn't about avoidance, it's about giving their nervous system a break so it can actually heal. If your dog is terrified of the doorbell, we're not going to train through it right now. We're going to turn off the doorbell or cover it and let your dog experience what it feels like not to be constantly triggered. Think about it like a sprained ankle. You don't heal a sprained ankle by running on it every day. You rest it first. And then once it's healed, you can gradually strengthen it. So we're going to do the same thing with our dog's nervous system. The third thing we need to do is teaching their nervous system how to calm down naturally. This is about creating genuine relaxation, not forced compliance. We're teaching them that calm is possible and they can come down from that high alert and that safety is real. This involves things like proper decompression time, nervous system regulation techniques, and creating predictability in their daily routine. So number 4, I just mentioned their daily routine. We want to maintain a routine because once they get their calm, they need to keep in that calm place, and a routine will help them do that. This means structuring their day in a way that supports their nervous system instead of constantly overwhelming it. The right amount of mental stimulation, physical exercise, rest time, and have that all be predictable. Once you address these underlying stressors, the behavior that you've been trying to train will most likely disappear on their own. They're not destroying the furniture because they're bored or spiteful. They're doing it because they're overwhelmed. Fix the overwhelm and then the behavior fixes itself. So I've seen dogs go from destructive and reactive to peaceful and responsive in under a week using this approach. There's even someone in my community, she has a dog named Luna, who's a rescue, who's been through 3 different trainers and 2 board and train programs. She was still destroying furniture, couldn't be left alone for 5 minutes, and would have full meltdowns multiple times a day. The trainers kept saying she needed more discipline, more structure, more consequences. Within 4 days of addressing her stress triggers, she was sleeping peacefully for hours. She stopped all her destructive behavior in 4 days after 2 years of traditional training failed. The difference is her owner stopped trying to train her anxiety away and started addressing why she was anxious in the first place. She identified that Luna was triggered by being left alone after hearing the car keys jingle, by sudden movements near her face, and by changes in her routine. So she worked on those specific things. Okay, if this makes sense to you and you're ready to try a completely different approach, one that works with your dog's nervous system instead of against it, I have created a complete system that helped over 300 anxious dogs find peace. It's coming out really soon. I've been working on it so hard. It will be ready in just a few weeks. and I'll be adding it to the description when it's ready. But in the meantime, if you're interested, you can sign up for our waiting list and you'll be the first person to know when I'm ready to release it. In my next video, I'm going to walk you through 4 steps that will calm your dog in under a week. And once that video is live, you'll be able to click to watch it right here. So remember, your anxious dog does not need more training. They need their nervous system healed. And that's exactly what we're here to do.